Mark, hello, welcome.
How are you?
We're good, thank you. Jessica's got a few connectivity issues, so we're going to start with you anyway. I've introduced you. I think everyone knows you anyway. But what everyone wants to know is what is going on at IBC. There's masses and masses and masses, as you and me both know. So can you just do a summary of what visitors can expect at IBC? You know, what halls, what new tech, what new features, and anything else that you want to add to the mix.
Okay, well, I think it's important to say, I attend the accelerator calls like several times a day, and just the excitement that everybody feels around the show coming up. I've got a real palpable sense of what's going to be quite a dynamic and a show that's just buzzing like it was last year, I think. Joe, because you did a lot of the research around IBC's audiences and just how much they value things like the networking at the show and discovering innovation and getting up close with the technology and trying it out. And that's really what has fueled the media and entertainment technology business forever, really. You can only do so much on Teams and Zoom, but the value of networking and the importance of the trade show and the conference and discussing with peers, discussing with partners, competitors, and suppliers and buyers talking together, you just can't beat that mix. I think it's important to say that first of all, and bringing business leaders together at the show and having kind of best in class innovation on display, I think is what everybody loves to see. Right? So talk a little bit about some of the things. I think so hall 8 is going to 5, 8 and 12, I think, have been extended quite considerably since last year, so bigger spaces. Hall 3 is open. And I think we're going to see, lots of new features of the show. Steve Connolly from IBC talked about a number of things around gaming this morning on here and around the esports zone, and I'm really excited about that. I think IBC working with Unlocked to create that huge space. I mean, I can't remember what the size of it's going to be, but it's a 500 square meters, I think, and it's definitely going to be quite a compelling, I think, showcase of everything going on in esports with some great players and some online games going on. I think that's going to be really exciting. But Steve talked about that a lot today. The people who remember the future zone, well, that's now the past zone because it won't exist. But the EBU it's being replaced by the IBC Tech zone, which is powered by the EBU. And I know from talking to some of the EBU guys, they've got some really cool innovation to showcase, like really, really cool. So I can't wait to see some of that. Of course, it wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about the accelerator zone in Hall 3 and the 8 incredible innovation projects that we've been working with 8 teams, with 80 companies since February to develop some pretty cool stuff in areas such as live cloud and edge production. We've got synthetic and flexible media. We've got authenticated data and metadata projects. We've got 5G enabled live kind of immersive performance and extended reality sports and personalized real-time streaming kind of themes across the 8 projects. And I think, a lot of work to do before we get there in just about 2 weeks' time. But we've got some fantastic companies involved, some new companies like Google and Cisco, IMDb and Fox Entertainment, and Verizon Business and ITN and the Outernet and TechX, and the list goes on of new organizations that are coming to play in the accelerator space. And we'll have 2 sessions a day on those projects in Hall 3 on the innovation stage next to the accelerator zone. And I just want to say thank you to AMD and Microsoft for sponsoring the program as associate sponsors. They've been fabulous, not just in supporting and driving, helping us lead projects, but providing kit and processing power and, more importantly, knowledge and expertise to really drive some of these projects forward. Sorry, Joe, a lot of words there.
No, fine, that's fantastic. And that's actually really good timing because I think Jessica has just sort of managed to join. Thank you.
No worries.
Hi, Jessica.
Hello, good
Hey.
afternoon. Hi, Joe. Hi, Mark.
Hi, you made it, you made it. Um,
Yeah,
Fantastic, good to have you here, and actually really, really good timing. So Mark's done a brilliant sort of overview of the I suppose of sort of the content initiatives more broadly, you know, the tech zone accelerators. Just a quick heads up, everyone, as well, that there's an accelerator innovation zone, and you can go and meet all the participants, champions of those accelerator projects when you're on site. I think we finished everything with you, Mark, didn't we? I think it was sort of over to you now. So. We've talked a lot about the content pillars this year. So could you tell us a little bit more about those pillars, and then how those pillars are sort of threaded through the content that people can expect to see at IBC this year?
I think the idea was to create a really consistent narrative across everything. So whether you're going to the conference or content on the show floor, or whether you're reading 365, there's some there are pillars that really kind of tell the story of what IBC is about. And those three pillars are shifting business models, so the changing ecosystem, the landscape in media. The second one is around transformative tech. So those technologies that are really going to change the way that we work and are entertained in media. And then the third one is people and purpose. So really looking at how we spark conversations around things like inclusivity and sustainability.
Brilliant. That sounds fantastic. Could you talk a little bit more about the actual sort of program as well, and you know what the different sort of strands, so the conference, the the show floor theatres, change makers we've heard a bit about earlier today as well on another session.
But there's so much to talk about. How long have we got?
Not very long.
Okay.
Just a quick overview, and maybe your standouts as well. So what you're really looking forward to, but just to give an understanding of how the different elements sort of play together.
Yeah, I'll try and give you the highlights, because there is lashings of content and so much to explore. So in the conference, Friday and Saturday in the forum is where the conference is, the main conference. And Friday is really about that kind of business landscape, so business strategy. And we're looking at things like behaviors of Gen Alpha and how to prepare your brand and your business for Gen Alpha, what the ecosystem looks like in the future, what the disruptive new sort of business models are, things like fast channels and the impact of fast channels, and whether there's any kind of long-term sustainable business model within fast channels, and then really how to differentiate your streaming service in a crowded market. So we've got some really great brands on the first day. We've got Warner Brothers talking about HBO Max and the rollout of HBO Max. We've got AHA from India, an OTT platform, and they're talking about really creating local content within a huge country, and how they've really been able to kind of combat the big likes of Netflix and Disney, etc. And we've got a conversation with Olivier Joly from Paramount talking about fast channels as well. So there's loads to discover on Friday. And then on the Saturday, we kind of shift more towards that sort of intersection between creativity and technology. So we're looking at things like using real-time technology and visual effects for creating avatar. So Natalia Tatichuk from Unity is talking about that. We've got Eddie Hamilton, who is the editor of a lot of Tom Cruise films, so Mission Impossible, Top Gun. He's done loads of Tom Cruise movies, and is talking about post-production. So anyone interested in post-production should come to that. And then I guess my final highlight for the Saturday is a session on AI, and you can't really escape that. There's going to be content about AI everywhere at the show. So we've got a really super duper panel on AI and how it can really give you a competitive edge. So we've got Peacock TV, we've got Media Monks, and AWS joining that panel, which is on the opening morning of Saturday.
Brilliant. And Jessica as well. I spotted the other day that we've got a really fantastic show keynote as well, which is open to everyone as well, so not just the sort of conference delegates. Can you tell us a little bit about Mr. Marco Tempest?
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's a real futurist. So he'll be coming and talking about not only talking about, but actually showing you how virtual production can be done, literally out of a carry-on case. So he'll come on stage with his carry case, and he will show virtual production magic and how actually these sort of technologies can be accessible to all. So if you want to sort of gain a little bit of future content, be inspired and have a little bit of entertainment, then definitely come to the Marco Tempest session, because that's going to be one to remember.
Brilliant. And then just
Can you do a bit of selfless promotion as well? I'm doing a keynote with
that's Mark. Who are you doing a keynote with, Mark?
Mention it. I need.
Yeah, I'm doing a keynote with Scott Lawrence, who's the Senior Vice President with Verizon Business, and we'll be talking all things 5G and actually the really critical component of connectivity in producing, in managing, storing, and distributing content throughout the world. So that's going to be very exciting. At 3:30 on the Friday.
Brilliant,
Yeah.
brilliant.
Don't miss it.
I just wanted to.
A lot of these speakers you'll find in the premium lounge. So if you want, the forum is a great auditorium to go and actually absorb lots of the content and hear people talking and lots of great thought leadership. But if you want a bit more of a conversation and an intimate kind of setting, then definitely buy a premium ticket, because you'll get to meet and talk to some of these speakers and actually kind of talk through some of your ideas.
Yeah, brilliant. And just finally to add to that, as well as the that fantastic body of content in the forum and in the premium lounge, we've got a whole array of tracks and theatres across the show floor, with some fantastic sessions. We've got the Showcase Theatre, the Innovation Stage. We've got 2 theatres in Content Everywhere, all of which is free to attend. The full content agenda is on the website, show.ibc.org, so everyone can check it out there. So just very, very finally, and I know we're running out of time as well, we haven't talked about, I'm going to do a little drum roll here, the awards. And we have announced some of our really sort of prestigious and special awards the last week or so. Could you just give us a quick heads up on what we can expect and who's going to be who we're celebrating and how people can get involved?
Yeah, sure. So traditionally, for those of you who've been to IBC before, you might go to one award ceremony, and all the awards are given in that ceremony. We're doing it a little bit differently this year. So the awards sit in their places where we feel like the content aligns with some of the content sessions. So we've got the Social Impact Awards, which are taking place on the Sunday of IBC, and that's at the end of the Changemakers programme. And we've got loads of amazing entries from the likes of Mama Youth, from BBC, from Women in Streaming Media, all focusing on things like sustainability, inclusion, accessibility, and that's really kind of intricate to the Changemakers programme and the content that we're putting on there. And we've got a special award which is the IBC Changemaker Award. It's the first time we're giving this award, but we thought that we can't go amiss in celebrating what is Eurovision and the way it brings nations together culturally, and the massive production project that goes on behind the scenes with something like Eurovision. And they are a change maker. So that'll be a first, and you'll get to hear from Martin Osterdahl, who is the executive supervisor of Eurovision. He's the man that comes onto the TV and goes, "The scores are in." So some of you might recognize him. But we're doing a fireside chat within the awards to talk about that massive undertaking of producing Eurovision and how it really does stay fresh and relevant. And then we've got the Innovation Awards as well, which take place on the Sunday too. And you will be able to see the International Honour for Excellence awarded within the Innovation Awards. And that this year has gone to Warner Brothers Discovery Pictures, who are celebrating 100 years of their organisation, which is a tremendous achievement. And I think everyone would agree that their contribution to creativity and entertainment is astounding. So this year the award goes to them, and you'll be able to see that presented in the Innovation Awards.
That's fantastic. I mean, thank you very much, Jessica and Mark. I think we have covered off pretty much everything that we're doing. There's, as you'll have heard, there's plenty to see, plenty to do. So please check out the website, plan before you go so you can fit it all in. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Joe. Great to see you. Bye, Joe.
Speak to you later.
Yeah.